you don't have to go far in Scripture to see where something like this began. In Genesis, the early chapters, we read about Adam being created and being given a job and being given purpose, and life seems good and the garden is perfect, but he lacks someone in that garden. And we're told that the Lord sees this and says it's not good for man to be alone. He needs a helpmate. And marriage is born right then and there. She is taken, created from his side to be at his side. And that extends on into this day when we look at the fact that a man leaves his father and mother and clings to his wife, and they form a brand new family, no longer that family of origin, but a new and a blessed family. And God has put these two together, and there's nothing in this world that's supposed to ever separate them. Paul, in his letter to the church at Ephesus, he describes this relationship, and he begins with a sentence that we all need to understand. Submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. Because of your feelings for the Lord, you are willing to submit to one another, even as he submitted and gave himself for his bride, the church. And he goes on to explain that marriage is not only this wonderful blessing, but when done properly, when you exercise, and this may not be popular in our culture, but headship in the family, you're modeling Christ. And in order to do that, you have to be willing to give up your life for her. And you're called to submit to your husband. Now, that doesn't mean he just gets to rule. You don't like that word. I get that you don't like that word, but I want you to understand something. If he loves you the way Christ loves the church, it's the best gig you'll ever have. and we are... You're still going to say I do when I get to the I do part, right? Okay. And what Paul goes on to say is, in this world, if done right, it is the closest picture in all of life to Christ and the church. That's who we're modeling. Okay. We're going to get pretty quick here to some vows, and I'll begin with you, sir, and ask you to repeat after me. Yeah. I, Zach, take you, Allison, to be my wife, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, forsaking all others, for as long as we both shall live. And Allison, ask you to repeat after me. I, Allison, take you, Zach, to be my husband, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better or worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, forsaking all others, for as long as we both shall live. Zach and Allison have elected to exchange rings as the sign and symbol of this union. Yeah. Yeah. We're getting a new best man if you're doing it. All right. And Zach, I'll begin with you again and just ask you to repeat after me. With all I am and all I have, I pledge my love and myself to you. And with this ring I thee wed. And then Allison, likewise, as he placed the ring on the appropriate finger of his left hand, with all I am and all I have, I pledge my love and myself to you. And with this ring I thee wed. I want to read just a real quick piece out of 1 Corinthians, and it very possibly is quite familiar to all. And it is a description of love in the 13th chapter. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It's not proud. It's not rude. It's not self-seeking. It's not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres, and love never fails. Would you bow with me as I pray over this couple? Father God, I just ask your blessing on Zach and Allison. And it is so much more than just this one moment, the wedding. I pray for their marriage, that every single day, this relationship would just abound in love, be ruled by love, that they would be blessed in home. And if there are to be children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, I pray for them to be around, to know them, to influence them. And I pray, Lord, that all who know this couple will look at them and consider how they are blessed and desire to have a marriage just like them. We thank you in advance for what you're going to do. And it's in the name of Christ Jesus that we pray. And now, having pledged yourselves and your love to one another, marked that pledge with the exchange of rings before God and these witnesses as one who has been given the authority by the state of Missouri, but so much more importantly, as a minister of Christ Jesus. I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride. They're excited. May I present to you for the very first time, Mr. and Mrs. Allen.
Celebrating with us. It's not just celebrating a wedding, but the union of two incredible people. So first of all, Zach, I want you to know how much I love you and how proud I am of all of your accomplishments. I'm proud of the man you've become. I'm proud to call you my son, and I know you will make Allison a wonderful, loving husband. And I wish you many, many years ahead with your beautiful bride. So, from the beginning, since he was a little boy, about the time he could walk, Zach liked to make things just a little bit more exciting than they probably should be. And that's because when Zach commits to something, he's all in, he's going to give it 100%, and he faces every challenge with absolutely no fear. Whether it was fearlessly guarding the plate, playing baseball as a catcher, especially in high school when he played soccer, it wasn't uncommon for him to go toe-to-toe with guys much bigger than him. In the Marine Corps, it wasn't uncommon for me to get a phone call with some crazy story or a picture or a video of him half hanging out of a Huey helicopter, flying over to the city of New Orleans. As a St. Louis City police officer, his first few weeks on the job, he was with a trainer So I figured he'd have some mundane job, writing parking tickets, something like that. Nope, not Zach. Not Zach. First day, I get a phone call. Hey, Dad, guess what? I said, what? He goes, I made my first arrest today. He goes, it was a drug bust and a resisting arrest. I go, it's your first day. What happened? He goes, well, we told this guy to stop. He took off running. My trainer said, you're a Marine, go for it. So he did. He said, Dad, I tackled him, rolled on the ground, and drugs came out of his pockets. With a story of him telling me, again, as a St. Louis City police officer, gets a call, here's a call, and he takes off in pursuit of a stolen car in a paddy wagon. It was making so much noise, he couldn't hear him calling him off. And the same story was when he was in Jefferson County. Wasn't uncommon for me to see some story on the news or some other news flash, and I'd call him later and say, hey, Zach, are you involved in that? Well, yeah, Dad, I was the first one on the scene. So all of this didn't come without some consequences. So he got knocked out completely cold playing soccer, broke his foot, busted his lip open during the crucible in the Marines. I'm sure there's many more that I don't even know about. And Allison, I know you witnessed his tenacity the first day you met him. So I'll make the story short, I wasn't there. They were on a float trip. Zach was with his friends. Allison was with her family.
They were not together.
They were not together. They were separate. So at some point, Zach sees Allison and decides, I want to meet this girl. So he proceeds to pursue her down the river. She put him off several times. Said, Zach, there's not room in my raft. Somehow he ended up in her other family's raft to continue his pursuit. Allison, to this day, me and many others in this room have no idea why you agreed to go out with this crazy man. It chased you down the river for what I could imagine was only hours. But you know what? We're very glad that you did. So Allison, I know how much Zach loves you. I know he's committed to you. I know he's going to give you 100%. And when you're in need, I have no doubt he's going to be first on the scene. But be careful. Remember, it may come with reckless abandon. So Chris and I have been married for 32 years, and I can tell you, that marriage is a wonderful, great journey filled with love, laughter, and sometimes tears. Zach and Allison always remember to love each other. Remember how much you love each other. Cherish the good times. Support each other's dreams. Offer forgiveness and unwavering support to each other. Each other's rock during the difficult times. So Allison, from the first time we met you, you brought a warmth and kindness that fit right into our family. You make Zach so happy, and that's all I could ask for in a daughter-in-law. You're beautiful both inside and out, and you brought a little bit of sense of calm and organization that Zach needed just a little bit more of. You two complement each other perfectly. And Allison, we're proud and happy to welcome you into the Allen family. I'm so happy for you both. I pray God blesses you each and every day, and your love grows stronger with each passing year. Now please raise your glass and join me in a toast to the happy couple. Here's to a lifetime of love, happiness, and great adventures together. We love you.
Well, I normally am pretty good at doing speeches and everything, but I'm going to read a little bit because I tried to really think about how to define Allison first. That gets hard. And then Zach. Where to start? Allison and Zach told me that I only had 38 minutes, so I'll try to be brief. 38 minutes. But Since you didn't take as long, I got an extra 12. So sorry if you are hungry. First, let me say thank everyone for being here. It's been a great day. It's great to celebrate their wedding and everything. One thing that really made this day special to me, when Allison decided to ask my uncle to officiate her wedding and Zach. So some of you may know this, but my Uncle Mark here, he's actually my godfather. So I thought it was a real special thing. We will have my godfather officiate my daughter's wedding. So thank you. Now on to Allison. What to say? Allison was always a sweet and challenging child. She always wanted to be involved in anything that was put her way. Sports was always a big part of her life. She rotated from soccer to volleyball to basketball to softball, fit in some dance, things like that, the cute little outfits when she was young. Along the way, she constantly developed friendships, which made many constant sleepovers. It was like a revolving door. Birthday parties, team parties, all this stuff. So it doesn't surprise me that today, I'm always telling her, I'm like, slow down. She's constantly going. Speaking of one other thing that she always loved was her dresses. So when she was young, I remember one time when she literally stood there pulling her dress down to her knees, even though it didn't fit her. So imagine a scenario where, you know, she's growing up a year later, 2 years later, and I'm like, Allison, it's time to let the dress go. And Allison's like, I love it. And I'm like, Allison, it doesn't fit you anymore. It's not down to your knees. And she swore. I mean, she was pulling, yanking as hard as she could. I was like, it's time to let it loose. She loved her friends. Birthday parties, team parties, different things like that. I can't count how many times there's 30, 40 girls all around her constantly. So I'm like, I never worried about her just having kids around all the time. Water slide, different things like that. There's one of her friends right there, Alexa. I almost consider, I ran into her parents here tonight. I don't know where they are. They're somewhere in all this crowd. There they are back there. The ornaments. I'll tell you what, that kid was like a daughter to me as well. I mean, these two kids, believe it or not, born on the same birthday. Same day. So it was crazy, but I mean, they were inseparable. It was constant. It was like the moments when Allison would come around and she'd be like, Dad, I don't know why I'm so upset. I'm just, the emotions are killing me. I'd be like, go to Alexa. Go to Alexa. I got nothing for you. Go to Alexa. And I will say this, I did tell Doug and Jackie over there, I said the only problem with that was if Alexa was in that same state, they were screwed. I mean, there was no two ways about it. Two emotional basket cases. All right. I will say her best friend growing up, this guy right here, Craig, my son. I can't tell the amount of times that, I mean, they were there for each other through thick and thin and everything else. It was neat watching it. It was painful being a parent to it because there was times that Allison would be bad or Craig would be bad, and as a parent you have to discipline. And the minute that you start disciplining one, the other one would turn on you as well. It was like vultures. They were on top of you and you were like, come on, you know, they'll understand it when they have kids. She loved her sports, played in a lot of soccer, played in a lot of different things, always played as a team player, spent a lot of times doing that. I remember taking her to Jeff City for a soccer, I forget what they called it. It was a soccer championship kick-out thing. But she went with her friends and stuff like that, tracked her down there and everything. I think she had a blast with it. Craig dressed up in a couple of dresses in the state capitol. He was a younger boy, and we were all like, Craig, put the dresses on with your friend. So That's the one thing I regret is I don't know where the pictures of that, but boy, they'd be great. She was always tough and clumsy. Watch out, Zach, I'm telling you. So I remember one time that took them camping down in southeast Missouri. Allison sat there riding a bike with one of her friends, and I mean, I don't know, probably 10 years old. Kids, you would think they know how to ride a bike together and everything, you know, two different bikes, but they rammed right into each other. Had to take her to the hospital to go ahead and get it checked out and stuff. They were like, it's a sprain, no big deal. Only to find out she's pitching a softball game the next day, it's broken. So she had a ton of pain tolerance, but honestly, I'm sitting there going, man, this gets crazy. She loves her sports, and I don't understand it. I will say that she was always there for me as a father. I do relish the times that we had together throughout the years. We had many things that had opportunity to do, from sports to camping to riding bikes to traveling, eating turtle soup together. Yeah, they kind of got on me on that. I snuck it into them and said, turtle soup, try it, guys. I didn't tell them at first, only afterwards. So she was a real exciting kid along the way. Then she met Zach. So, Zach, how do I put it? I personally have known Zach for a short amount of time, but I will say that I never forgot the first night that I met him. So imagine a scenario that I'm sitting there, my daughter comes to me and says, hey, Dad, I met this guy. He's a pretty cool guy. You know what? I think I want you to meet him and everything. And she brings Zach. I gotta say, it was pretty cool. We went ahead and had dinner at the house and everything. We played cards, which Zach, he's improving. There's this game. Has anybody played Zippo before? Skippo, yeah, that one too. I had a couple beers. Well, that's kind of like Zach played, okay? So I knew, I have a tendency, for people that don't know me, I'll sit there and go over the top maybe a little bit and razz somebody just a tad. Even Chris knows the limit. We met Chris, and you know what, I'm jabbing them and everything. You know, Joe and Chris. Well, I did it with Zach. And that was kind of my test. So I always looked at it and I was like, all right, let me check this guy out. Let me go ahead and really give him some shots. Are you really that bad at this game? Do you know what you're doing? Different things like that. And I will say he took it. He was respectful about it, but he shot right back. And I was like, this is the guy. You know what? He's not fake here. You know what? He'll give me it back. And I've told him that many times. I'm like, you know what? You passed the test. So I will say that. I'll jump through a lot of this other stuff because I won't put you through 38 minutes. I got 12 more pages to go. Really, I don't. I did. So I did this for them because they did tell me you got 10 minutes max, and I was like, oh, I'm going to play it up. A lot of blank pages. So I will say, sometime thereafter, I went ahead and we were down in Soulard at Big Daddy's. It was before a soccer game, one of the SDLFC games. Had tickets, they had tickets. We all went down there and everything. And we're sitting there with some of the family and everything and having some drinks before the game and everything. And Zach comes and says, come on, Gary. You know what? Help me get some drinks up at the bar and everything. And I'm like, no, you can get your own drinks. I'm not messing with it. And I kept pushing back and pushing back. And then my sister, where is she? There she is. Yeah, the one hunkering down over there. She looks to me and she's like, Gary, get your ass up. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she goes, go. So I went, and naturally, Zach asked me for her hand. And I was extremely happy to say no. No, I did not say no. I did not say no. I said, absolutely, I'm honored to have you, you know, and everything. But I did ask him after. I said, what if I would have said no? And he answered correctly. He said, I would have done it anyway. And I I said, absolutely. You passed the flying test the second time. So I do like that part of it. So then, I knew it was coming. They were on vacation, different things like that. I knew the question was going to get asked. We're all sitting there on FaceTime over at the house and everything. They're on vacation, and we're waiting for the moment. He pops the question. She said yes. We're all cheering and everything. And my wife, Cindy, where is she? Over there, hunkered down over there. Everybody hunkers down. I don't understand it. At the end of the day, Cindy yells, grandbabies! We're all looking forward to it. Can't wait. So on a real note, Zach, I'm under 38 minutes, okay? I do want each of you to know how blessed we have been to be a part of your lives. You each are very special, and I can see how much you two really care about each other. I wish you the best in the years to come, and do know that we'll always be there to support you. Please raise your glasses for the final toast. Oh wait, I got more pages. All right, never mind. To Allison and Zach, may they have many happy years ahead. Enjoy many exciting adventures and provide many grandbabies. Thank you.
Is there a light that can guide my way through the shadows where the lost souls stay? I'll be the calm in the storm's embrace, leading you to a safer place. When all the world's turned a bitter hue, I'll be the note that plays for you.
I want to start off by saying thank you for coming. Allison and Zach have put a lot of work in today, and I am so excited for all of us to celebrate them together. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Katie, and I have the incredible honor of standing here today as Allison's maid of honor. I'm not only Allison's cousin, but also her lifelong partner in crime, and it fills me with joy to celebrate this beautiful journey of love between Allison and Zach. From the moment Allison and I met, which is to say the day I was born, given she's just a few months older than me, I knew I had a built-in best friend. Growing up together has been an absolute adventure, sharing sleepovers, pool days at Grandma and Grandpa's, and navigating life's ups and downs together. We've been inseparable through those awkward middle school moments, high school dramas, and even college misadventures. And I can't overlook an offer from our grandpa. He insisted that if we ever found ourselves in a predicament like getting pregnant and kicked out of the house, his home was our home. Allison and I were definitely his favorites, but let's keep that a secret from Zach and Craig. Sorry. Speaking of our grandpa, this day is very special because we have newlyweds, but also special to my family because it is our grandpa's birthday. So first, cheers. I would like to raise a glass and say happy birthday, Grandpa. And Uncle Tim.
And Uncle Tim!
I told him earlier. But every great journey has its challenges, and ours was no exception. One night, two not quite 21-year-olds coming home from a night of line dancing at Wild Country. Suddenly our adventure takes an unexpected turn, a flat tire on the highway at 1:30 in the morning. Now I maintain to this day that I ran over a doorknob. Yes, there was a doorknob on the highway. Don't ask me how it got there, that's a mystery for another time. So faced with the dilemma, we chose to call my mom for help. As she informed my dad that we needed help, he asked where we were. The exit sign read East St. Louis. And somehow that summoned him to change the tire for us at that ungodly hour, because he had to work the next day. In the meantime, Allison and I managed to relocate all the alcohol from the trunk to the back seat before they were arrived, avoiding a potential lecture. But now moving on to the first time that I met Zach was during our annual family float trip. And missed our fun on the river, Zach, who was a part of a bachelor party float, noticed Allison and struck up a conversation. However, lacking a phone, he couldn't save her number. Being the protective cousin that I am, I told him he could have her number if he could remember it. But he proved his determination by hopping on our raft for the rest of the float. Although Allison threw him on a raft with my parents and some of family friends, her thinking was that if he could last being on the raft with them, she would give it a chance. Good thing. As I convinced Allison to go on a date with him, leading us to this magical day. Allison, I've known you my whole life, and I never have seen two people click so fast or be this happy. I remember Zach's anxiety over the ring in his backpack at the airport, convinced Allison would accidentally find it, or he would lose it. Luckily, she didn't find it, although Zach didn't hide his anxiety very well, and she definitely noticed that. Remember when Zach first mentioned moving in together? And you freaked out, not knowing what to do? Well, look at you now, married. Although, Zach, I hear you lost all your extra space. Small price to pay for happiness, right? Allison and Zach, I hope you live a long, vibrant life together, growing not only as a couple, but as each other's best friends. Cherish every moment, laugh often, dance whenever you can, and always have each other's backs. I adore you both with all my heart and cannot wait to continue witnessing all your adventures. Zach, please take care of Allison. She's truly one of a kind. And she deserves the world. So let's raise our glasses to Allison and Zach. May your lives together be filled with endless love, laughter, and countless new adventures. Cheers.
How's everyone doing? Let's get a round of applause for Allison. She looks beautiful. That's okay. Good evening, everyone. For those who don't know me, you might be at the wrong wedding. I'm Matt James. And I have the pleasure of being Zach's co-best man. I've known Zach Allen for about 10 years. We first met in St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department, a beautiful city, famous for, well, let's just say, not much crime. In 2020, Zach decided to jump ship and join the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, telling me, oh, you need to come out here, best place in the world. So like a fool, I made the move. And what does Zach do? He jumps ship again and leaves me high and dry. I'm not crying, I promise. But let's talk about Zach and his talent for jumping ships. We have this annual float trip for just guys. The first night was great. It was just all the boys hanging out, bonding, drinking brewskis, eating some hot dogs. But the next day, as we were getting ready to get on the float, I see Zach talking to some girl. I didn't think much of it. Well, we were out on the float. Zach and I are in the middle of a deep conversation. All of a sudden, Zach leaps off a raft like Forrest Gump, diving off the boat to see Lieutenant Dan. Little did I know, just like that, we lost him to Allison. Honestly, I've seen Zach jump ship more times than the passengers on the Titanic. In all seriousness, while usually this trip was only for the boys, this trip is where Zach met his soulmate. When he jumped that ship that day, he found his lifelong ship with Allison. He is always there for Allison and will be there through thick and thin. And that's why the Lord has a plan. You two are clearly meant to be. You show us what love really is. So here's to Zach and Allison, a fantastic couple. I do have one quick story. So when Zach got engaged, he called me. When Zach got engaged, he called me, and I'm like, good luck, brother. And a month later, he calls me distressed, and he goes, I lost my man cave. And I said, welcome to marriage. Congratulations, Zach and Allison. Here's to a lifetime of love and laughter.
It's the last speech of the night. They saved the best for last. You're welcome. Hello, everyone. First, I want to take a moment to acknowledge the most important people in the room, the bar staff. They can't hear me, but you guys are doing amazing. We appreciate you. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Caitlin, Allison's sister and best woman because I am not a maid, and Allison has too many clothes to clean, so I do not want that honor. Not everyone can say they have the best, most beautiful sister in the world, but Allison is lucky enough to say that about me. No, really though, look at the gorgeous bride. She's glowing. Allison has put a lot of work into making this day amazing, and Zach has supported her the whole time, no matter how much room it took up in the basement. Or the garage. Now you hear a lot about best friends who wish they were sisters. Allison and I were the lucky few who got to turn that into a reality. We got to play softball together, and when it's sleepovers and everything like that, and as soon as you know it, our parents were together, and just ask her how much she loved having us sleep in her room on a futon growing up. As we've gotten older and can look back at things with our parents and laugh, well, most things, we've acknowledged that we were the problem children who were always getting into something, but we always had fun, and it makes for great stories now. One thing about Allison is that she is as loyal as they come and is dedicated to her friends and family. So Zach, you've picked a good one. This girl is so loyal and has so much FOMO, if you don't know, that's feelings of missing out, that, as most of us know, she runs around ragged to make time for everyone and be there for others. One time, she was having stomach pain, but our friend was in town to celebrate her birthday. So despite the pain, Allison was determined to come as this was a special day and a chance to see her friend who was in town. Throughout the whole night, she was in pain, and I thought she was crazy for even coming out, but it didn't stop her. Now, the next day, I did have to take her to the hospital, but she partied with us all night. Zach, you have willingly chosen to join our crazy family, so I know you love Allison. When she first told me that y'all were moving in together, my first thought was, damn, that boy's in for a ride. And of course, as a supportive sister, I told her that worst case scenario, she could always move back in with me and had a place to go if things went south. Now, here we are at your guys' wedding, and you two have bought a house together. I know, and I hope that the future for you is both full of love and adventures. Your first adventure being your honeymoon, but the next one can be to visit me. I'm thankful to have a built-in best friend who I know would travel anywhere to see me. And Zach, you don't have a choice but to come visit as well. So raise your glasses to the newlyweds, Zach and Allison Allen.
Find our strength in you. In this ballad I'll play for you. I'll be your melody, soft and true. Lift you up when you're feeling blue. In this epic we'll find our way. Together we'll face another day. In this cinematic life's grand view, we'll write our story, me and you. Through the highs and every low, with each chord our love will grow. I'll be your melody, soft and true. Lift you up when you're feeling blue. In this epic we'll find our way.